Jeff Gibson. Today I'd like to talk about your first aid kit. Before I get into what's in mine, I do want you to keep in mind, if you do buy yours at like Walmart or any other store like that, I recommend going into the pharmacy area as opposed to the sporting goods section. There's generally a little bit better selection to get from in the pharmacy, but keeping all that in mind, no matter if you buy it there or you buy it at pick it up in the sporting goods, it's up to you. But keep in mind, those first aid kits are mostly nothing but Band-Aids, little single-use things of Tylenol, Advil, little medications like that, a few alcohol pads. When they say stuff like 125-piece kit, most of that's going to be Band-Aids. Now, before I show you this, remember they do come in different sizes. You can buy everything from a big trauma kit and order that, and it comes in its own bag, all the way down to something you can put on your belt. Now, there's nothing wrong with the belt. And I'll be honest with you, I don't have it on here today because I've been doing everything else, other things today. But you can have one that just sits on your belt. World War II, the only thing you were issued in World War II was a thing of morphine, a syringe of morphine, and a it's called a battlefield dressing. It's basically just a big bunch of gauze with a strap on it to tie it up. Obviously, you're not going to be walking around with a thing of morphine, but you could put in a little belt pouch, one big roll of gauze, some tape, and a couple of gauze pads. That would be all you would need if you got cut. If you got good cut, you're not, because to be honest with you, what's a first aid kit? It's something to help you right then until you can get to the hospital. That would be all you would need for that. And that would work most of the time. But I recommend building your own. Okay? Dry box, I mean, everybody, you guys know, you're into this stuff, you know what this is. This is one of the medium-sized ones. In this kit, there are some things in here that are prescription only. But you can buy some things like just like it that are over the counter. I happen to have them because I have some injuries to me that require me to have this stuff. So I'm prescribed it. It's not narcotics, but it is a gel. It does numb. So I'm prescribed it and the pads, but you can buy stuff very similar to it that's not as strong over the counter. So I'm gonna go ahead here in a second and show you everything that's in it. And being this is a waterproof box, everybody knows it's a dry box. It's bright orange, so I can set it down. I'm not losing it. But being a dry box, I know everything in there is not going to get wet or hard. So I'm about to show you what's in it. Okay, let's open this up. Now I use every little nook and cranny in here to get as much stuff in there, because I'm gonna carry a box this size. I'm gonna put as much stuff in there that I think I could possibly need. And remember, first aid kit, you can have several. Depends on how long you plan on being out. This would take care of me for weeks or months. Because first rule of survival or bushcraft is don't get hurt. Be careful when you cut things. Be careful when you set things up. You set a snare up, make sure it's not above your face. Your face ain't above the spring pole when you set a trap. Because if it slips and smacks you in the face, then you're going to need the first aid kit. Your knife's not sharp enough and you're trying to force it through wood, slipped, cut yourself, first aid kit. So the first rule is try not to get hurt. But if you do, you should have this stuff with you. Everything from stomach aches, maybe that fish you caught and you thought it was done, wasn't quite, you get a little sick, you might have Band-Aids, but what about something for your stomach? So in here, I got a few rolls of just small gauze. Don't need anything bigger. I don't need those gigantic rolls. Just these. One is, why not the big gigantic roll? Just put one of those in there. Well, yeah, but if I open it up, right now it's sterile. I open it up and I only need half of it. The other half is not going to be sterile when I need it later. So I would rather have smaller amounts or smaller rolls that I can use the whole thing with than what am I going to do with the other part? Well, yeah, hey, guess what? Good tender, but that's about it. Then I got a couple types of tape in here. The plastic tape and the cloth tape. This, I'm not quite sure what they call it. It's like a gauze, but it's like a tape at the same time. It would go on the outside. So if I got a cut, I would use a gauze pad, wrap it with this, and then go over it with this, and there's my bandage. Hydrogen peroxide. You can buy these small little bottles. You can also buy the travel. If you don't want to buy one of these, get you this small little airline travel bottles and fill it up yourself. I've got a few gummy antacids, but they fit inside the holes of these. So I'm using my space wisely. Anti-diarrhea pills. Buy a box of them, take a few out. Tums, antacid in case I don't want those or I'm out. Some little hand sanitizer, because it's alcohol. Neosporin, some anti-itch cream, some generic version, but Alka-Seltzer. Always could use it. Now this is some of the stuff I was talking about by prescription only. This is 5% lidocaine gel. I use it for burns. It's a numbing medicine. So if you got a really bad pain in your shoulder, I have it for my side, but if I have a bad pain in my shoulder, I can rub some on it. It's going to numb it. It's going to help me. But they do sell it. They do sell this over the counter in a 2 to 4%, depending on how much you want to spend. That's as strong as you're going to get over the counter. But like I said, this was prescribed to me, and since this is my first aid kit, I did include a tube. They also prescribed me these lidocaine patches. Same thing as these, but they're patches. So I have my option. Again, they sell these all day long over the counter, but somewhere between 1.5 and 4% on these two. But so they're sold over the counter. Like I said, I'm prescribed these, so instead of me buying any, I just use my own. Then I got an assortment of gauze pads. Obviously, if you know, my wife happens to be a nurse, so you know they have more than one use. To be honest with you. Obviously, wound, yes. They can also be used to clean out a wound. Okay, instead of getting your hands that might be contaminated already in it, you can, with the conjunction of the hydrogen peroxide, clean it. I'm not going to take everything else out. Everything else is assortment of Band-Aids and butterflies. That's it. But it all fits in here really nice and neat. It's waterproof. Now you could go bigger. You can go smaller depending on your needs. But I definitely recommend, if you're going to be out, definitely carry some sort of first aid kit. Whether it's this simple little belt kit that has, you know, you might throw a few Band-Aids in there, a little roll of gauze, some tape. That's all, you know, that's fine. You can get elaborate and have a trauma kit. Wind picked up a little bit. A little trauma kit, complete with scissors. Now, if you notice, there's some things in here that are not in this, that you might be wondering, why is it not in here? I do not have scissors in here. Why would I need scissors in it? I have my multi-tool, which has scissors on it. I have a pocket knife. I don't need scissors. That's redundant. So, with that being said, you can make it as big as you want, but I recommend you build your own. Even if you want to start with the basics of buying one at a from the pharmacy at Walmart and rebuild it, that's what I would do. So, with that being said, go ahead and, you know, make sure you have some sort of first aid kit when you're out in the bush. First rule, like again, first rule of it is don't get hurt. Work smart, don't be stupid. Have a nice sharp knife so you're not forcing it through the wood and everything else. Work smart, be careful with the stuff, but have a good kit. Have something that, like I said, you caught that fish, you thought you're hungry, you thought it was done, it's not. Starts irritating your stomach. Nothing like, or hate to say this, when I know there's probably a lot of people out there had this happen to. You're out in the woods, you feel fine. Next thing is you got diarrhea. That ain't fun. You know, it's not fun at home. Sure ain't fun out in the woods. So, you know, but you don't have to go super expensive either. Everything from basic to full-blown, full trauma kit. Depends on what you feel like putting in your pack. This is what I feel is enough for me, my wife, whatever. This is enough. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and pack everything back up here in a second. But I hope you find this informative. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and continue to follow me on Facebook or YouTube. And try to look me up on Facebook. I should have that. I've been having a little difficulty getting my Facebook set up for it, but look for it. It should be under Indigenous Survival at yahoo.com. Look me up on there. Send me some requests. If you just want to chat, hit me up, and I'll see you guys at the next video.